Hello and welcome back to another exciting session of decoding Indian elections, the Indian Parliament, with the one and only Dorab Sopariwala. Dorab, thank you for being with us. So, in the middle of everything, now our government wants to increase the number of seats in Parliament from 543 to 850. What's the thinking behind this?
You know, the first Lok Sabha had only 499 members and our population was about 17 crore voters. Voting age then was 21. Now it's 18. Now there are almost 100 crore eligible voters. Now so they feel that if there are so many more voters, there should be more seats. The voters have increased 5.5 times while the number of seats have gone up only 10%. So assuming around 100 crores voters, an MP today represents around 18 lakh voters. Now the proposal is to increase this membership to around 850. Now why do we want to, so that each person only represents 12 lakh voters. Now the proponents of the system say that a larger parliament would mean smaller constituents that make sense, better administrative reach, improved voter access, and more manageable workloads for MP. Also, you could include in that 1/3 quota for women without affecting the current size of the parliament. This is the answer given by those who propose the increase in parliament numbers. In this presentation, we have a lot of data, both for India and from abroad. This data is mainly obtained from AI, more than one AI source. Some data has also been obtained from PRS, legislature, which is the Indian body that keeps data. I thought we should make that clear.
Here's my question. An MP today who's representing 18 lakh voters, is he going to do that much better a job if he's representing 12 lakh voters?
Well, let's be honest, he's not representing 18 lakhs. You can't represent 12 lakhs. It's ridiculous to expect him to represent 12 lakhs. You know, his job is to legislate. Not to correct, he's not a drain inspector. Also, we have state assemblies, we have municipalities, we have rural municipalities. The question is, we cannot expect him to do either 18 or 12. It just is too much. You know, most people outside of Delhi have not even seen their MP. So, whether 18 or 12, he's not known, he's a nobody. Why do we want to just increase the numbers? It's more jobs for the boys, I understand. But neither 18 nor 12 is anywhere near enough. He can't represent 12 lakh people.
And like you said, it's not his job to do that. I mean,
That's right.
There are enough
his job
other
is to legislate. It is for the ministers to execute the laws and the bureaucrats to run. It's not for the MP to run the government.
Absolutely. And also this whole argument being made of the women's quota, why can't it come from the current strength?
Absolutely. We can, 181 is 1/3 of 543. So you can have 181 women in the current quota. Why do we want so many more people? It's more costs, just doesn't make sense, to me at least.
Yeah, more costs, more housing, more pensions, more transport, more air tickets, all of that. But tell us, how does India compare to other countries, let's say UK or France?
Well,
what are the numbers there?
These are much smaller countries, we must understand. France or England is smaller than Maharashtra, perhaps smaller than Madhya Pradesh. So, as you can see in the graphic, they represent normally 1 lakh people, less than 1 lakh of people each, and MP. In America, which is a larger country, about 500,000. But if you wanted us, for one MP for every 500,000 people, we'd have a parliament of 1,800 people. China has a parliament of 2,300 people, of whom only 10 do any important things, the rest sit around. I mean, do we want a parliament members just sitting around? Because we don't need a bigger parliament. Those people actually meet the constituents every week, etc. We don't do that. We can't do that with the numbers that we have. We have to do something. But we also have we have corporators, we have MLAs. That is the job. That is not the job of the MP.
So why is this insistence on expanding the Lok Sabha?
Well, I say that, let me give you an analogy. Let's assume that we got a 4-lane road here. Now, there is a view that we should expand, widen the road to 6 lanes. So you would ask yourself a question, why? Have we first checked? Are there too many potholes? That's why there are traffic jams. The traffic lights not working. Are there too many broken bits in the road? Is the road is not in good shape? Then repair the road, rather than put 2 more lanes where there will be more potholes. I'm saying let us assess the performance, like the road, of our Lok Sabha and see if an additional 300 odd people is warranted. Let us examine its own performance, and if you like, compare it with another similar house like the House of Commons and see how we do.
So let's do that. Let's see how, if you can tell us, how our Lok Sabha has performed compared to, let's say, another parliament.
Let's first take our Lok Sabha itself.
Okay.
In the first 3 Lok Sabhas, 1952 onwards, and let's look at the last 3 Lok Sabhas, excluding the COVID Lok Sabha, because that is an unusual Lok Sabha. We used to sit on average for 612 days. Now we are sitting for 321 days. That's a drop of almost for 300 days. That's 60 days a year approximately. You were sitting for 4 months, now you're sitting for 2 months. Why do you want the expansion? You're only working for 2 months in the year anyway.
And getting paid for the entire year.
Yeah. But the question is there any need? Are you overly pushed? What will these others bring? Except for making that 12 lakh to 8 lakh. You must have a better reason than that to expand Parliament. So we've done one. Then let's look at another question, like comparing with the House of Commons. Now, the House of Commons, let's look at 2014 to 2019. We sat for 331 days. The Commons in 14 to 19, actually election is 17, so they were cut short. They sat for 407 days, even 3 years. Let's look at the 2019-2024 Lok Sabha. We sat for 274 days, they sat for 671 days. So the question is, you could sit more if you felt that work wasn't getting done, you could sit for more days, you aren't sitting for more days.
But there is also this sense that the Indian Parliament passes more bills compared to other parliaments.
Yes, to compare the House of Commons, it does pass. If you look at the last 2019-2024, we did pass more bills, a little bit more bills. But the question is, you passed on a bill very, very fast. A third of the bills were passed with a couple of hours of debate. The question is, if you decide to pass, then we only meet to be 2 days in a year. Pass all the bills at 15 minutes each. So the question is, the job of a parliament is to debate, to discuss, to improve, send the bill to committee, get it back, do all those things. The Brits are taking longer merely because they do all those things. And we are supposed to have learned from them, but obviously not enough. That we are passing too many bills too fast. Also in Britain, there are private members' bills, which is, let me give you an example. In Britain, when execution was banned for most people, most cases, there was a man called Leo Abse. He was a single member of the Labour Party. So no party supported him. And both the parties said, you can vote for whosoever you like. So he brought a bill. And so it's a private members' bill. Here we have private members' bill, not one single private member bills go through. So those people have fewer bills, but they debate them more. And they also have private members' bills.
So they're considered bills. And, there is, like you said, debate and discussion. Here we're just passing them via brute force and no debate or discussion.
Not only that, there every single bill has to go to a committee.
But do our bills go to?
So first you introduce a bill in Parliament. The bill then goes to committee for improving, for amendment, for changes. There's a debate there, which is an intense debate because it's not, the whole House is not involved. They then send the recommendations back to the House. The House then debates them again to see, this is not, they have said this, but no, we don't want this. They have not said this, but I think we should add this. So there is another debate. And then the bill is passed. Now, in India, at the turn of this century, as the graphic shows, around 65 to 70% of the bills used to go to committee and come out of the committee and then be debated. In the last Parliament, 2019-24, only 1 in 6 bill went to committee. So you introduce the bill here, pass it and finish it off. I mean, This is not what legislation is about. This is not what deliberation is about. This is not what improvement is about. Then you tend to pass bills that are half-baked. So they come, people go to court, challenge them, or they have unintended consequences because they haven't gone to committee. In Britain, there too there's unintended consequences. But at least every single bill goes to committee and then is discussed, debated and sent back. So I think that is what you really require Parliament to do. And 16%, it really is very, very low. 1 in 6 bills. Why shouldn't all bills go? It's not, they're only working 2 months in the year anyway in Parliament.
Yeah.
They could spend some more time in committee.
And these bills have, like you said, an impact on the people of this country. Surely they have to spend some time on evaluating them. So, do we really need more members?
Frankly,
don't we have enough already?
Yeah, I think, in my opinion, the only reason that they have for a bigger parliament is that 18 lakh will become 12 lakhs. But as we've discussed, there is no solution.
Yeah.
There is no other performance criteria. They've not been able to make a case as to why there should be a larger parliament as far as legislation is concerned. Because don't forget, Parliament is a legislative body. In my humble opinion, the size is big enough. We just need to work in a more disciplined manner, spend more time, spend more committee to make it a better parliament, to pass better laws, which is better for the country.
So let's fix what is broken in the current system. Let's not add to it, which could perhaps only make it worse. Dorab, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for watching. We'll be back with more with Dorab Sopariwala. How is a Rajya Sabha member elected?
It is done by a method called the single transferable vote. We became independent much later. But obviously Baba Sahib Ambedkar still decided that the old system was the right system.
So many of these Rajya Sabha members don't attend Parliament. How do we sort of make this better? Like, for instance, cross-voting.
Always go to the people in a democracy when things don't work.
Or is there going to be less money spent? Who's going to pay for all of this?
So if it costs money, it does cost money. But the question is a cleaner system. You see, we often live unknowingly with corrupted system. Here it's knowingly. We know it's a corrupted system. Do we want to live with it? Or do we want to spend some money? The choice is ours.